I wanted to talk about an idea that I find to be one of the most profound in this journey of healing that we do. And it's sort of a guiding principle that I wish everybody got to at least experience. It's something that I want to make sure when I work with a new hypnosis client that they all have at least touched upon this, that they've worked through these basic ideas. And I call this the holy trinity of healing. And it basically involves reconnecting to the figures inside of yourselves of your inner child, and then your inner father and your inner mother. So we go through the world and we start out as infants, and we only thing we know of the world is how our parents show us the world. They reflect to us how to react when you fall, how to react when you're hungry. Every part is modeled to us by our parents' behavior. And some of that can be really good, and some of that can be less than ideal because of our parents' own shortcomings, the parts that they're not able to give us properly, or experiences that we have along the way that teach us about the world in a way that doesn't serve us now as adults. And so to go through a process where you deliberately reconnect with the part of you that is your own inner child, the part that has never really grown up and never will. You have an eternal 6-year-old, 3-year-old, 12-year-old living inside of yourself. To reconnect with that part, the part that at the time didn't get what they needed, and to say, wow, I see you now. I connect with you. It can be a profound and emotional experience. I find that if you go and consistently make sure that your younger version of you that is still going through the world and is still experiencing the world the way it did as a 12-year-old, if you go through, you go through the world. Because the way I describe it is a lot of your decisions as you go through life are still influenced by this inner child that lives inside you. It's the part that's really calling the shots. And so until you can reassure this inner child that things are safe, making sure that they have what they need, that they can venture out of their comfort zone because actually the world isn't as dangerous as they maybe experienced it at that age, you will still find yourself stuck because all of the cognitive understanding that things are okay now might not serve you at that point. And so that is one key part of it. But what I found doing this, and I've been doing this inner child work for a very long time, but what I found is that oftentimes, you connect with your inner child, but even your adult self feels kind of limited. It's like, I'm working with what I got, but it's been a real struggle these years. I feel like I'm just figuring out how to adult, as they call it. So what I found that really helps to enhance this is to tap into archetypes, these ideal mother and father that live inside of us that we can heal and bring to our service. So our real parents may have been very flawed, and they may be failed us in many ways, either usually not intentionally because of their own shortcomings, but that figure continues to live on in our mind and continues to speak to us. It continues to tell us how we should live. Oh, don't go there. Oh, you're not worthy of that. All those internalized messages. And for us to take the time and recraft an internal parental figure, one that is ideal, one that really is that fantasy best version, can be so helpful and supportive, right? Because now it's not just us anymore. There's supposedly an external thing that's really just another aspect of our mind that is there to guide us and support us and validate certain key things that we really need validated. And I tell people, this ideal parent, it could be your actual parent, and you maybe work through some things with them so that it makes them even more ideal. Any history that needs to be resolved, or maybe it's not your real parent. It's an amalgamation of individuals you've met. Like in my case, I actually have like 3 strong mother figures that I've kind of merged into this felt sense that I live with, and that helps me create this mothered self-love aspect for myself. It could be a deity. For my father figure, I have this sort of Egyptian god that I made up. I actually used AI ChatGPT to make a picture of it just to really encompass it. But I made this image that encompasses what I want a strong, masculine, supportive figure to be. And now, when I go through the world, I can instantly just close my eyes and invoke an inner child that is highly sensitive and really has a lot of needs. And at the same time, like almost the back of my head, and a strong masculine archetype, a strong feminine archetype. And now you've got your team. You're not just doing this alone. You've got the parts of your mind that are there to support you. This is inspired by ideas around, IFS, internal family systems, that you can really tap into and align and bring to serve you. So I invite you to give this some thought. I've got meditations that help you connect with your inner child. I hope to create some more soon around connecting with your archetypes. But just the concept of remembering that you actually have a multifaceted aspects, dimensions of yourself, and working to heal them, build them up, and really use the creative powers of your mind can be so empowering and so transformative. There's a quote that I love to end with. It goes, "It's never too late to have a happy childhood." With your mind being unable to discern between real reality and vividly imagined fantasy, that is the nature of the subconscious, it experiences both the same way, you can actually completely change your history and go through the world as if you had that ideal childhood.